Welcome back to the Hakim and Lin podcast.
Halim.
What is your heart-burning topic for today?
The concept of Ikigai. So if you Google Ikigai, what you always see is this Venn diagram of 4 overlapping circles. And right in the middle of it, that is when you have achieved Ikigai.
Big circle, small circle, small circle, small circle.
No.
Then?
Equal size circles. Overlapping. You know, like Venn diagram like that. When you did it in school.
Hated A-maths, but yeah.
Okay. It's not even A-maths. It's like very simple,
E-maths.
rudimentary maths, I think. And then, so it overlaps, right? And the point where all the 4 circles overlap, right, in the middle can, if you have achieved that, that means you have achieved all, then you have achieved Ikigai.
I'm just imagining a satay right now, you know.
Why satay?
Because like satay,
It has to overlap. Satay does not overlap.
Oh, okay.
And, okay, so every circle represents something.
Okay.
So one of it is what the world needs.
So the first circle
So,
is...
okay, so Ikigai is a philosophy, kan? It's a Japanese term.
Ni falsafah ni.
And so one of it is basically the world needs whatever that you have to offer.
Okay.
Okay, so that there's a need for it.
So I am a citizen of the world and I want to contribute to the world.
Correct, that's right. Another circle is that you actually love doing this, right?
Something
Whatever
that makes
it
me
is.
happy. Okay.
Another one is that it actually brings you income.
Okay. Must harvest. Must apa? Can reap.
Yes, reap. Basically reap its benefits.
Okay.
What did I say? So something that you love,
For the world.
something that the world needs, something that you love, something that you can reap income from.
Can make some living out of it.
Yes, correct. No, I have to look because I forgot.
And the last one?
thing is what you're good at.
It has to do with something what you're good at.
So this thing that you are doing is something that you're good at. So maybe it can tick all 3 boxes, but then you are rubbish at it. Then that's not your Ikigai.
Got example?
For example, what's an example of, you know, the 3 things that you need?
4.
4, that means, okay, probably the world needs a unifying force through your voice, you know, because like, you know, you're a songwriter and your songs, maybe the lyrics, your voice together, right? It just like make different people with differences come together and there's peace.
Di Ambang Wati.
So the world needs that.
Should show my clip of I standing sing karaoke.
Totally. Okay. Then so that's something that the world needs, right? The world needs a unifying force. So you might be that unifying force. You get money out of it. You sing, you make a record, you sell like a lot of
I
records.
post this video on YouTube and YouTube pays me money out of it. Okay.
Correct. Okay, you make money out of it. You love it. You know, sampai naik atas sofa nyanyi.
Betul lah.
You love it.
Oh, you saw it?
I've not seen. And you're good at it. Right? You stop saying nyanyi. Wah,
But I'm just mediocre, but I'm enjoying it lah.
But maybe to other people, wow, macam, you know, somebody, an expert were to analyse your vocal range and truly blown away by your talent. Macam, wow, you hit this note that nobody else has ever hit before.
That's right.
You
Singapore
have achieved your Ikigai. Yeah. And people who have achieved this Ikigai are very contented usually. No stress. Not no stress lah. Got stress. Good stress. And they live longer lives.
Sorry, what is good stress?
Good stress. Good stress is... Oh, there is such thing as good stress. Because you need a little bit of tension in your life, right? To make you feel, you know, get you going. Get you excited about things. Challenges.
My wife always gets me going.
That's a good tension. You know that it's important to have tension in a marriage, in a relationship. Like one of the red flags is when everything is too smooth sailing, when there is no negotiation. Again, listen to Jordan Peterson. He has something about this.
Okay, homework, mental note.
Yes. So why I was on the topic of Ikigai is that I think in places like first world nations or nations where it's very fast paced, very competitive, it's very difficult, in my humble opinion, to meet people who have achieved this Ikigai, right? What you always often is disgruntled people not happy where they are, but because they're in a rat race, they can't get out of it, or they can, but they don't know how. They're good at something, but they're doing another thing because what they're good at is not what's bringing in the money. That's why a lot of Surya actors do other things, right? They sell property.
One more time.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of celebrities in the Singapore scene become property agent. Right.
So gonna get cancelled.
Like Taufik Batisa. Let's interview Taufik Batisa.
Let's, man. Yeah. Yeah, but you get the idea lah. Okay, like maybe basically what is very lucrative in a place like Singapore, it's not the arts. Like you don't, only a very small percentage of people really, earn a lot from the arts. So it's difficult lah to pursue it.
Like being a national football player.
Yeah. So it's usually like the arts, sports. What else?
Things like what Malays are good at.
Yeah. Oh my God, I wish Laila was here. She had this very good, like, she gave us a very good lecture about this, right?
What?
About why we are like this lah. And our basically what I spent out for the Malays is very similar to what's happening in other parts of the world, like Latin America. Where else? Yeah. Anyway, we should insert her khutbah about this.
Khutbah.
Very good. Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, yes. So basically, in a society like Singapore, it's very hard for you to achieve that Ikigai. Don't you agree? Like, can you name somebody who has truly like attained? I don't know whether this is used grammatically correct.
Apart from today, I have never really thought about this concept of.
Okay, so to
I've
be
heard
fair,
about it, but don't really know what it means. Ikigai.
So to be fair, this is the first time you have heard about this concept of Ikigai.
I can't
By the way, the book is at your house. I lend Laila.
Is it?
It's on your.
I'm not done with Atomic Habits. Let me finish Atomic Habits first.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So nobody comes to mind in terms of
Precisely, like instantly.
Okay.
Actually, the thing is, right, the people that probably come to my mind are all your family members. I feel like Haziq has achieved to some extent his Ikigai.
Basically, just contented and happy.
Yeah, but ticking all the boxes lah.
It's always sticking to the bosses to what degree?
You, for instance, have definitely.
Again, to what degree?
Yours, I can attest that it's the very high degree for everything. Example, okay, let's say the world needs, yes, definitely the world needs it. I mean, the fact that you have a lot of followers shows that they want accessible information lah. And like I mentioned, the information is probably out there for them to see, right? But you make it more accessible by maybe the way that you put it, right? So in the way that you explain it.
How would you describe the way I put it?
You like to use this term. I explain to you in very layman's term. Okay. Can you explain accrued interest for the 10th time?
5,000th time.
And then you're like, okay, I explain to you in the. Hey, but you like. I mean, you're like, okay, this is my 5,000th time, but you still do it, and when you get into it, you can see that you're in your moment of flow.
Hey, but when I explained it just now during my TikTok live, do you think can you understand it?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's easy to understand.
That's why people want you to become tutor for RAS exam.
No.
But yeah, probably. Okay, see, that's a need there, right? It's like, yes, this information is probably out there. I could probably Google it, but I want to listen it from you because you have basically done the job of accessing the information and then breaking it down. And yeah, it's just like this. Use an analogy, a metaphor. So the world definitely needs it. Tick. You love it. Yes, people should really see your face when you assemble all this. And that sense of satisfaction that you get out of it. Tick.
Wait, you're really going down into how this makes me happy.
Yeah. No, as in how you have attained Ikigai.
One more time. I'm hearing. I lost you just now.
The first one, the world needs it.
I was thinking about accrued interest again.
Oh my God. Okay, so the world needs it. The world needs it, right?
No, Singaporeans needs it. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Like so, the community around you needs it. Okay.
So take.
You love it.
Okay. To what degree is this?
I mean, to a high degree.
To some degree lah.
Judging to the level of popularity on TikTok. I think it's to a large degree lah.
Okay.
There's a need for it, right?
Okay,
That's why people
understand.
subscribe to it. Then there is you. Do you love it? Yes, most definitely. You love it, right? We can see this sense of joy, and you get immersed by it. You don't see it as work. I think that's one like big marker lah, an indication that you don't dread this. Does it pay you?
Yes.
Yes.
As a real estate agent, yes.
Yeah, it does.
Somehow or other, people always come to me and say, "Hey, can you sell my house for me?"
Precisely. Okay.
Because
let's
you
see.
explained to me accrued interest, and I understand.
So what you love, what the world needs, what you paid for, and you're good at it.
Good at it. Not be the best, but I enjoy it.
Yeah. No. Okay. Enjoying it is separate. That's whether you love it or not. But you're good at it. You're good at solving problems. We have this thing where we make fun of you. It's like when we think that we've reached a brick wall. No, it is a porous wall. Like look for like a pore or a hole to squeeze through.
Yeah.
Like
Mental block.
yeah, no mental blocks. Only porous walls. Yeah, so you're definitely good at what you do. So maybe you're not aware of this, but you have achieved your Ikigai.
No, if you put it that way.
Okay, finish. I haven't think it.
Well, how about you?
It's difficult
Why?
because I do not have a clear talent or a
What do you
clear-
think? What do
Okay.
your parents or your friends say? What your talent is?
It's so meaningless. Oh, you're very good at organizing.
Okay.
Okay.
Some more?
Oh, you're very neat. Yeah, I mean, mostly it's about organizing. It's about like you tend to see a project to its end. Something. Is it like okay? The thing is, it's very generic things that you can basically plug anywhere lah.
No, to you see that way. I see it differently.
Yeah. See, like how like when you're at your own house and you see the same thing every day. When somebody comes in and like, hey, that is a very nice painting. Oh, hey, actually your shelves are very dirty. You can't see these things lah because you face it every day. You face yourself every single day.
No, it's very interesting. So I tell you from my lens. Maybe to you it starts with the house because you started from the house. But it is not the house per se. It is the talent inside you. So the first person that comes to mind who I associate you with is Leila Hormozi.
Okay. Alex Hormozi's wife.
Yeah. Means from a business perspective, being able to identify, process and putting things together and wanting to see it through whatever workflow, not just in terms of business operations, but the talent that is supposed to come inside it. Yeah, and then these two combined is actually you're talking about the whole business altogether, and this is a very important component in any business. Can you imagine if you have figured out the formula for this, which people like the Hormozis have figured it out, and they just copy, apply accordingly to a different business, copy, apply accordingly to a different business, and this is the thing that people like me most of the time squirrel may not follow through till the end because the novelty of it will die off. But I want it like this, it has to be like this. Yeah, this is the process, and this is the structure that is needed in any organization for it to function at the most optimum level.
I think because it's that. I mean, now that you put it that way, it's not like a very clear like, oh, I'm good at painting, I'm good at singing, I'm good at swimming. You know what I'm saying?
Peasant stuff.
So yeah, basically, when you're growing up, and people say, what are you good at? Oh my god, I hate this. When you have like introduction circles and then you're supposed to go around, say your name and what you're good at. I hate it. I'm supposed to say, oh, at 7-year-old, I'm supposed to say, I'm Adelina and I'm good at.
we were not media trained.
Yeah, but that's just exactly it. It's difficult to kind of verbalize. It's difficult to like put a name to it. It's difficult to figure it out. Yeah. So I think for most parts of my life, number one, what you're good at. Itu je I'm like already struggling with it lah. And it's also like what you say is quite generic. You can plug it anywhere. Yeah. So usually when people think about occupations, you think about it in terms of fields. Like, okay, do you want to go into medicine? You want to go into teaching? You and like, okay, I can do this, but I probably could also do this.
It is very interesting. Lens. What lens are you using?
Okay.
How would you say differently? Just few months, like since January this year, is it?
Yeah.
The lens that you wear since January, and the years before that, because you were surrounded with a different group of people, and then compared to when you come here, when you shadow me every day, wearing a different lens, totally different. Totally different.
And that is.
So the language that those group of people talk about is this: lawyer, teacher, nana.
Yes.
The language that I've been talking to you is none of these things.
Correct. This is seriously rizki Allah. You know why? You know what's my dua before this? For a few years before this, my dua is, please help me find what is my superpower. I know you gave me one. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. It's just that I don't know what it is. Just please bring me towards it, because I want to use it for good. Just talking about it wants to make
so
me
do you
cry.
feel that you are maybe perhaps 1 or 2 steps closer?
Yeah, and that's macam I do feel his mercy through it lah, that he macam kind of like, can you do this? Nudge me a bit. And it's up to me, it's my responsibility to see this as a sign and okay, take it up. Because I can be as well macam ignore it. I asked for it. I jolly well, open my arms when the opportunity comes. Right? So yeah. And then I think for Singaporeans, right, a lot of it is you get paid for it lah. And when we talk about getting paid, it's obviously not like peanuts.
Yeah.
Like very handsome rewards. You're handsomely rewarded for it. Yeah, that is another thing. I remembered there's this another book that I read called The Element, and the importance of finding your tribe. Yeah, because it's so important. Like what you say, the people that you surround yourself with, the messaging that you get every single day is like a dripping, right? We always talk about this idea of dripping the message every day. That is so crucial to the whole entire process of finding your Ikigai. So I remember when I read that book and I was very excited about it. At that point in time, I have not found out about the concept of Ikigai. And this person just shut me off and said that, no lah, kat Singapore tak boleh. Singapore, you really like something, cannot make money. Stick to your civil servant job.
Who this fella?
Don't want to say. But
Bantai.
takut lah. Basically macam I think a lot of people are like that because what you're being paid at is like your basic needs. We always talk about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That's like right at the bottom. I mean, it's money, but money provides shelter, money provides food, and a lot of people fear this. Until today, people still come up to me like, oh my God, how did you do it? How did you make the jump? And I still don't see it as something very heroic. I realized that as I talk, as I explain myself, I always say that there was something bigger that I'm going towards. Something bigger than money, and that is to realize my self-purpose. What's my purpose in this life? I'm very sure Allah has a plan for me. I'm super sure. I'm like dying to know, like, Allah, what is it? Yeah, I'm not angry at you for not making mine an obvious one, but it's like a mystery puzzle that I'm trying to fix.
Surprise.
And at the end of it, like my only hope is that I can do it before I die. That's my only thing. Like before I die, I'm like, oh my God, thank you, Allah. Such a wonderful gift.
On that note, it's very interesting because when you describe that, what appears on my mind immediately is unraveling your true potential, as if before Allah created you, this is the max. Everybody has limits. This is the max. You are trying to find out what is your true max potential, rather than operating at 5% optimum for the rest of your life, 6% sometimes, 5% most of the time. But you want to know, what is my 100%? Yeah, got to push beyond my mental barriers. Yeah, beyond whatever I think my limits are today. But actually, how much more can I push? What's the true self? My true Nur Adina binti Abdul Majid. That one.
Yeah.
So
actually, what's very interesting is, as we sit opposite each other, here is somebody who has obviously found his Ikigai without even knowing it. Okay, but you obviously have a very great sense of purpose in what you do lah. And here's somebody who is like trying to figure out what is my Ikigai. And I think a lot of people are in my shoes right? But what's interesting is, okay, so now you have figured out your Ikigai.
Yeah, I don't see it that way. No, I see it as being in the same boat as you. Like I'm still trying to figure out. I mean, I can relate to whatever that you just mentioned in terms of. I still feel the biggest leap of faith was that transitioning from being an employee, a fixed, secured salary every month, to I do not know how much I'll make the next month. It's expected first few months I'm not going to make anything. And am I able? Is this even practical? But I got bills to pay, and I'm going to get married. I'm going to, I'm going to have kids. Like, forget about giving my parents money. So there's those kind of things. To me, to date, when I look back, somehow it tells me that was the most difficult one. But I know, like, in the eyes of others, whatever that I've gone through else in business and all, like, wow, this one, like, ini rabak say, ini COVID say, oh, ini rabak say, ini like financial crisis say. But somehow that one, mental barrier, the one from employee to self-employed, that was the biggest. Still number one today. It was
still harder.
Still number one today.
Let me just share with you my training ground. And how great Allah's plan is. My training ground was when I got married and started my family, right? So my husband didn't earn as much as I did. Not only that, he earned like significantly less. And basically, I was as good as a sole breadwinner. It was that time, I mean, it was very difficult for me because looking around me, my people with my profile, my the demographic that I came from, obviously they married people who are very alike lah. Same civil servant job. So basically their salary is times 2.
Either on par or higher than them.
Correct. So around me, I'm seeing people like, getting cars, buying their first car, buying their first house.
Yeah, Mercedes G-Wagon.
Maybe not Mercedes G-Wagon, but like renovating their home a certain way. And then sending where they were sending their children to, macam. Yeah, and then I struggled with it so much. Like just the fact, simple thing, I didn't have a car. I only bought my car like 10 years teaching. I bought my first car. That it was so hard. Like I think I complain a lot to you, but like having my baby, getting rejected by Grab, tak boleh. Oh my God! If you are a Singaporean and you have a child, you have no car. Oh my God, it's so hard to travel if you're not traveling using MRT or bus. It's so hard to find like, firstly, you can only travel by taxi. Grab cars are not going to. And I don't know whether it's where I stayed. Tak ada kereta. Like I can wait sometimes I think for an hour. It depends on when. Sunday mornings, hell. Rainy days, tak ada langsung. And then I'm like, oh my God. We tried to flag for taxi. Sometimes I'm like, okay, never mind. Let's just take public transport. It will take forever just to reach. Those days, I have to admit, I wasn't a very like positive. Like, oh, it's okay. These are all like trouble. I was very resentful. Like, apa ni? Why is it that I cannot do this? And because like I cannot even get a car. Cannot even transportation to just get from point A to point B is so difficult. What more like sending my kids to things like enrichment? Forget it. It's like nak pergi, like it adds up lah. It was a lot of money to just book taxis and book Grab. Those years, like when money was an issue, and you know how it is, how difficult it is when you're living like literally like paycheck to paycheck. And because of that experience, I like when I was going to leave my job, I'm just like, it's okay. I mean, I went through that. It's okay. Like, don't be afraid of like what is it like? I think when you're in a very comfortable position, especially if you're a civil servant and you have earned that much, right? Then it's like it gives you the power to do certain things. And you're very afraid that these certain luxuries are taken away from you. I think a lot of people who are in this line can understand lah. You always have this fear, what if I have no food to eat, or what if I cannot go holiday? Like that was
of all the things I cannot go holiday.
because it's like because you work so hard. You're macam 9 to 5. It's not even 9 to 5. Your job never ends.
Yeah.
Your marking line and everything, and you're like slogging at work. I just need my holiday, And when you go for holiday, okay, tak apa. This is worth it. My job is worth it. At least I can travel. At least I can bring my family to see places, you see.
Yeah.
So macam after going through something like that, when it was very hard to travel, I had to depend on my mother. Can you imagine the besar tua bangka? My mother was still sending me home every day, every weekend. Like apa punya? Every time I think about it, I'm so ashamed of myself lah in that way. But at the same time, okay, it was difficult. I knew it was difficult.
But this is the very thing. The fuel needed for you now, especially today, to remind you that you got to do whatever it takes to flip that you want to be in a position. No, I'm failing my mom. Now I have this arranged. No. I remember those days because this is the common theme.
Yeah.
Right?
Precisely. So I think because, like I said, because of Allah's timing, because He knew best what I needed and what I didn't need at that point in time. Like, I'm not saying that, leaving my job was an easy decision, but there was that little fire in me that macam, it's going to be okay. What's the worst that can happen?
When you were telling this story, right, all the while in my head was like, esok bila you masuk syurga dahulu and then all your other friends okay later and then, ya Allah asal tak bagi aku lebih susah. Tahu aku minta lebih.
I know, right? I mean, because the punya lens that you wear is aku susah, and not, you don't frame it in such a way. It's Allah's test. How you going to deal with it? But yeah, I always ask Hannah, do you remember the times that we don't have a car and we had to macam hitch rides from my aunties, my cousins, my parents, and then she's like, yeah, I remember you used to sing to me because I was so afraid that because that time she was like baby and toddler, right? So I was so afraid that she get into her tantrum mode, and so I'm like forever, and then I'm like no screens, forever like I'm the clown, I'm the screen, singing to her and everything. And I realized that my two other ones will never know what it's like because they are comfortably like chauffeured around now. But yeah, I think I don't want. I want. Yeah, and I think it wasn't just a memory for me, it was a memory for her. I think for my husband as well. So macam kita tahulah, like where we came from, and after going through that, macam it's okay lah. Whatever that happens after this, inshallah, like just usaha, we get it. So that's why I think for people to achieve that Ikigai, there's this fear of like not getting all this met, and therefore they cannot propel themselves there.
No. Well, it's very interesting you highlight all this thing, and then although I don't really feel it or think about it rather, and then you tell me that I found the way I see it, you have reached your Ikigai. Like, I never thought about it before. I'm just trying to figure things out all the way.
By the way, just to let you know that it was your wife who said that my husband is the only person who I know has achieved his Ikigai.
Okay. I don't know how you guys process this, but now that you mention things like this, and because it makes me question right now, like, okay, so I just take it at face value. So if Allah has given me my Ikigai, so that means He expects more from me, because other people have not reached their Ikigai yet. So then I got to figure out, okay, what more I have to do.
Yeah, so that was what I was trying to point you to. Macam you okay, so basically kalau you haven't found your Ikigai, maybe your life is about your journey finding your Ikigai. Like what you said, right? It's actually not about finding your Ikigai, it's about that journey there. But for you, it's like, okay, found Ikigai, what to do for the rest of your life, right? Because I cannot be sad. I cannot be like that, right?
Because for sure it's not the
it's like,
happily ever after. No, what?
Okay, so then what is the journey for? That means the journey is to maybe like utilizing this Ikigai.
Help others find the Ikigai.
True. Help others find the Ikigai.
Then that forms another same layer of contribution to the world.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
Then if I realize that I'm good at it, then another layer. Aduh.
Can you be my consultant? Ikigai. RAS tutor and Ikigai
Aduh.
consultant.
Kelakar Arias tutor.
Well, I think at least he was brave enough to just ask. I mean, what does he have to lose? What if you said, okay, come, contact me, bro? No, it's like, okay.
Yeah. Okay lah. I think today is a good session of Ikigai between cannot say Mama Lina. Nur Adlina. Nur Adlina is now into the podcast scene. You're hearing from Nur Adlina and Mr. Hakim Halim today. We'll see you guys tomorrow for a different topic on a different time, different day. Bye.
Bye.